One of the biggest critiques of Jalin Hyatt's game has been his play strength. Well, this offseason he tried to change that by adding 20-plus pounds to his frame, and I think that could be big news for a breakout year for the third-year wide receiver. We'll talk about that on today's show, but first make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free, informative, entertaining videos multiple times every single day, and we are almost at our goal of 77,000 subscribers. CEO James Yoder, he challenged me to get there on today's video before the month of June ends. So if you love the Giants and you want to help me out and you're not subscribed, please do so. Hit that big red button right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for rolling in. Welcome to the Gun Show. Jalin Hyatt looking pretty swole at a recent Giants team event. They went bowling, and there was this picture taken of him, and I'm not going to lie, he looks like he put on some weight, and I'm hoping that the weight translates to his play on the football field, and I think it will. We know Hyatt was in the doghouse last year. He had 8 grabs in his second year out of Tennessee after he was actually, I would say, on a pretty good path following his rookie year. Not great numbers, but solid production with a very shaky quarterback room. And I'm excited to see what he does in year 3 now, and it sounds like he knows the time is now or never. Jalin Hyatt saying this: last year, I played at like 170 or 171 pounds. I'm about 194, 195 now. I'm telling you, that's what darkness does to you. It changes you. I don't know why he got all like in the darkness like that, but I actually like it. Savage mentality from Hyatt, and probably the biggest knock on his game is play strength. He couldn't get off the press. He would get knocked off his route. He wouldn't be able to get to the landmark he was supposed to because he wasn't able to really own his position on the field. And 170 pounds last year, that's a little bit too light, and I think that's why he struggled a little bit. 194, 195, that's a grown man, and I think that we could see that pay off for him. Hyatt also saying this, because there's been maybe some talk of, by the added weight, does he slow down? He said, the speed will stay there. But for me, it's just learning to run at this weight, learning to play faster, play bigger, play stronger through contact. I felt like that was one of the things I needed to work on from last season. I just felt weak, so I just had to get stronger. Like, I love hearing that from him. I think it's really important when a young player struggles and they identify their weaknesses and they put all of their time in to improve it. And I think he knows it is now or never for him when it comes to his career for the New York Giants. They traded up for you in round 3. You're heading into year 3. And if you struggle this year, there's a pretty big chance the Giants just cut you after the season. And if you want to be who you were supposed to be and thought you could be with the Giants, you needed to have a big offseason. He already did, and I absolutely love that. Look, he had a great offseason. He got a lot of reps with Malik Nabers being hurt. And the Giants, in my opinion, gave him a great opportunity to be successful because they went out and they signed a quarterback that fits him perfectly. Russell Wilson is the perfect match for Jalin Hyatt. Russ is a guy that still operates at a high level when it comes to throwing the ball down the field, creating chunk plays. Hyatt is in the league because of what he was able to do in the SEC by getting behind defenders and creating chunk plays. And it's hard to be a deep threat when Daniel Jones is your quarterback. No shade to him, but the facts are the facts. He's not a guy that takes the top off, whereas Russ consistently throughout his career has been a top 5 guy in that department. Another thing that I really think stands out about why Russell Wilson was perfect for him, because he knows how to tap into young players. He is killing him with kindness and belief and the really just the, like almost like a parent, like showing him and telling him, you can be that guy. We believe in you. Russ, when he came to the Giants at his introductory press conference, he mentioned Jalin Hyatt, saying he's a guy that's been untapped in terms of what he knows he's capable of. And he's gone on and on and on of singing the praises of Hyatt and just trying to, I think, instill confidence in the third-year wide receiver, saying, I think that Hyatt's going to have a great year this year. And he's like, he's a guy I really believe in. And I think there's always different types of coaching styles and leadership styles. And being a good leader, I think, factors into knowing how to push the right buttons to get what you want out of a player. And I think Russ and the Giants have learned Hyatt's not one of those guys that you want to yell at and criticize. He's one of those guys you want to uplift, give confidence, and be someone that he thinks just gives belief from them. This was a really good quote for me from Brian Dable talking about the relationship from Wilson and Hyatt, saying, I think Russ has done a nice job of developing a relationship with Jalin. Russ sits in the front when it comes to meetings, and Jalin sits right behind him. So you're already seeing that Russ is kind of just taken Jalin Hyatt under his wing and said, I'm going to get you to where you got to be, because I know if you play like you're supposed to, this offense is going to be a lot better. And it definitely helps when Hyatt shows up in the fashion that he did in this spring. He was ready to go from day one. He had a great spring, and he got handed an opportunity to run with the number one offense all spring long when it comes to mini camps and OTAs, because they haven't been practicing Malik Nabers as he nurses that toe injury. So you get a guy that gets an opportunity to run with the ones. He's building a great dynamic and chemistry with Russell Wilson. And he did what he had to do in the offseason to get his body right to be ready to play. I also love that the Giants gave Jalin Hyatt kind of the floor in his exit interview, and he got to tell them what he thinks he needs to do and how he can be used to improve off of a, I would just say, horrible year two. Jalin Hyatt saying this: I had good conversations with Brian Dable and Joe Schoen after last year, what we can do to have a better year three. And that was one of the things that I pointed out. And, I want to move around more. I don't just want to stay on the outside. Look, I played the slot at Tennessee, and I just want to fill that slot again, at the same time still play outside. Just move me around. I love the open communication between the players, the coaches, and the front office, and it's on all three of them for Hyatt to be who we thought he could be after he tore up Alabama, scored 5 touchdowns, and was the Blitnikoff Award winner. The Giants have to be more creative with Jalin Hyatt. You can't just stand him on outside the numbers at that outside wide receiver spot. It's like, okay, run past him. Like it doesn't work like that in the National Football League. And I understand that there might be a limited skill set to Hyatt, but you have to put him in a spot to be successful, to where he can maximize who he is as a player. So if you want to play him in the slot, do so. Those slot fades were awesome for him in the SEC. You want to work him outside, motion him inside, motion him outside, kind of that little cheat motion we've seen the Miami Dolphins do. I would like to see that with Hyatt. So the Giants have to be more creative in how they are going to use Hyatt, but Hyatt also has to be more creative in how he's going to find success in the National Football League. I got a couple more thoughts on Jalin and what I think he might do this year, but you guys need to go to chatsports.com/USA Giants. It's chatsports.com/USA Giants. July 4th. It is right around the corner. And if you want to rep the red, white, and blue, but also support the New York Football Giants, go to this link and get your shirt today. So when you're outside celebrating the best country in the world, you're also celebrating the best football team in the world. Chatsports.com/USA Giants. Look, we know Hyatt has potential. And while I kind of just alluded to the Giants need to do a better job of getting him involved and being creative with him, Hyatt also has to do a better job of being a better football player. Like 8 receptions for 62 yards over a 16-game sample size, that's a joke. And Hyatt deserves a lot of blame for that. Both parties are to blame here, but I do think Hyatt is a little bit more to blame. He's the player. He's the guy that has to step up. Do I think he could be a 700-yard receiver guy? I don't know, but we saw in his rookie year playing with Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor, and Daniel Jones. For a rookie, 16.2 yards per catch, 23 receptions, 373 yards. You need to build on that. And can we get a season where maybe he goes for 35, 40 catches, 500, 600 yards, and maybe the first touchdown of his career? Like, there have been splash moments in his career. I'll never forget that Week 2 game against the Arizona Cardinals where the Giants were down at halftime, and Hyatt made that opening chunk play in the second half, and Jones again went to him later on in the game down the left sideline where he made that contested catch. He had a great play against the Washington Commanders. All it takes is one play for Hyatt to make an impact. Can we get a couple of games this year where it's 2 catches, 75 yards? Shoot, can we get another 4 catches for 109 yards? He did that against the New England Patriots with Tommy DeVito. Like, he should be able to put up better numbers this year with Russell Wilson. And like we talked about, Hyatt knows that it's not just the Giants that need to put him in spots to be successful. He has to do a better job showing up and improving as a football player for this organization. He said, for me, it's just consistency, being disciplined, making the plays that come to me. Once you do that, more opportunities, they come. So that's really my mindset. He's got to build trust in the coaching staff. And he has to build trust with Russell Wilson. And it sounds like Wilson is someone that already believes in Jalin Hyatt. So that's half the battle there. But you got to have the trust from your coaching staff. If Dable calls you on a deep backside post and you're not where you're supposed to be at the yard mark when you're supposed to be there, he's not going to have confidence to call that play again. So make the most of your opportunities and catch the damn football when it's thrown to you. There's a legit shot where he can make an impact this year. I know you got your top 3 wide receivers set, Nabers, Robinson, and Slayton. But, like, as good as those guys are and as good as we want them to be, there are reps up for grabs for Hyatt. And I want to see him lined up in the slot maybe with Malik Nabers and Darius Slayton on the outside. Or we have on the boundaries Slayton and Hyatt, and we got Nabers in the slot. Or how about we go 4 wide a little bit this year and you get all 4 of them on the field? Like, as much as Hyatt needs to produce to stay alive in the NFL, the Giants need him to produce. He's a 3rd-round pick, a guy that you traded up for. You can't keep setting 3rd-round picks on fire if you're Joe Schoen. And I understand that these guys aren't scholarship players, but they kind of are when you select them in the first 3 rounds. And you need to give that guy an opportunity to prove you were right when you traded up to go and get him. Like, there's no reason to not give him a chance either this year. I think last year was kind of BS. They prioritized Darius Slayton, I think, a little bit too much. And I guess it worked out because he was solid and he came back and signed a deal with the team. But I think even the biggest Giants believers, which I believe I'm one of them, we're not playing for a Super Bowl this year. Like, giving Hyatt a little bit more snaps isn't going to change the total arc and future of this team. So why not give him some reps and show off the opportunity for him to be a player in this league? I'm excited to see it, and I think it could happen. And if you're with me, hit that thumbs up icon. If you're ready for the Jalin Hyatt breakout, hit that thumbs up icon. Help us get to 1,000 likes on today's show. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_.